Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Tom's Gadget Garage. Today we are here with the newly released Ausom Leopard DT1 Pro as well as the original Ausom Gallop. And we're here today to figure out which one of these scooters will come out on top in terms of top speed and acceleration. Now both of these scooters are 52 volts, they have dual motors, full suspension as well as hydraulic brakes, and both scooters on paper can get upwards of 41 miles an hour. But the question is, which one of these scooters is going to come out on top? Now, although both of these scooters do have some similarities, there are definitely some differences, which we're going to go over now. All right, so first and foremost, the Ausom Leopard DT1 Pro has 1,000 watts of power up front, as well as 1,000 watts of power in the rear for a total of 2,000 watts of power, whereas its bigger brother, the Ausom Gallop, has 1,200 watts of power up front and 1,200 watts of power in the rear for a total of 2,400 watts of power. Another thing to call out about the Ausom Leopard DT1 Pro is that it's got an 18.2 amp hour battery, which is good for 946 watt hours of capacity, whereas the Ausom Gallop has a 23.2 amp hour battery, which is good for 1,206 watt hours of capacity. But another added benefit of the Ausom Gallop is it does have a removable battery, but that does add some weight. The Ausom Gallop comes in at 88 pounds, whereas the Ausom Leopard DT1 Pro comes in at 67.7 pounds, which makes it an ultralight scooter for a scooter that can go upwards of 41 miles an hour. In terms of suspension on the DT1 Pro, it does have a coil spring suspension, which I will say rides on the firmer side, which is going to be really good for higher speed riding, but it is a very springy suspension. So if you watch the Olympics and you saw those gymnasts jumping off of those springboards, well, they can replace those springboards with the Ausom Leopard DT1 Pro because it is a very springy suspension. On the other hand, with the Ausom Gallop, it does have a hydraulic coil spring suspension, which does ride on the softer side. Best way to describe it is this thing is like riding on a cloud. It is a very plush suspension. One of the other differences on these scooters is that the Ausom Leopard DT1 Pro has a trigger throttle as well as updated controls and a color display, whereas the Ausom Gallop has a thumb throttle and some of the classic switch and button controls, and then the same display that we see on the older Ausom Leopard, as well as some other scooters out on the market today. As you can see, the kickstand on the Ausom Gallop is a lot more robust, and it allows the scooter to sit at a little bit steeper of an angle, which is great for stability. And another thing to call out here is going to be there's some differences in the latching mechanisms. This is a typical lever with redundancy that you see in a lot of scooters. And then of course on this one here, we have this twist locking mechanism. So both of these locking mechanisms look to be very robust. So now that we've gone over some of the similarities and differences between these two scooters, we're going to go ahead and jump right into our speed and acceleration test. All right, test number one with the Ausom Leopard DT1 Pro. We've got acceleration and torque settings set to maximum, and we're going to be riding in race mode. And we're going to go ahead and start our test in 3, 2, 1, go. All right. All right, so on that test, it looks like we hit 35 miles an hour in 11.81 seconds, 30 miles an hour, 8.75 seconds, 20 miles an hour, 4.36 seconds. And just to note, it is a pretty windy day today, so we're going to go ahead and do that test again in the opposite direction. All right, testing again in 3, 2, 1, go. That was our test in a crosswind. We'll go ahead and see how we did. All right, in that particular test, 0 to 35, considerably longer, 35 seconds coming up against the wind. 0 to 30, 12.24 seconds. 0 to 25.13 seconds. And so, looking at those results, looks like we're able to hit 35 miles an hour. We were able to hit 38 miles an hour on our mountain run, but that was pretty much a windless day, and today we've got pretty strong winds. So now we're gonna go ahead and test out the Ausom Gallop. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and test the Ausom Gallop in maximum acceleration settings. And we're gonna start in 3, 2, 1, go. You can probably hear it on the camera, but these Italian PMT tires are significantly quieter than the standard hybrid tires that these scooters come with. All right, let's see how we did. All right, on that run, we hit a maximum of 35 miles an hour, 13.64 seconds, 30 miles an hour, 8.49 seconds, and 20 miles an hour in 4.4 seconds. Once again, it's a windy day, so we're gonna go ahead and do this in the opposite direction now. And 3, 2, 1, go. Definitely got lots of wind. All right, let's see how we did on that run. All right, on that run we hit 32 miles an hour, 15.96 seconds, 30 miles an hour, 11.96 seconds, 20 miles an hour, 4.93 seconds, and that's with me weighing 204 pounds with gear. So I'm going to go ahead and do a comparison of these results, and we'll talk about them in a moment. All right, folks, so there you have it. That was our speed and acceleration test with the Ausom Leopard DT1 Pro, as well as the original Ausom Gallop. I will say that both scooters feel very solid at speed, no speed wobbles at all whatsoever, and that includes when releasing the throttle as well as hitting the brakes at higher speeds. So very impressed with the stability of both of these scooters at speed. Now, you probably noticed in the video, but the Ausom Gallop does run a lot quieter because I am riding on the Italian PMT tires, which are street tires which ride like a dream. Very, very quiet. The Ausom Leopard DT Pro, of course, uses the stock hybrid tires, which the original Ausom Gallop also comes with. So if you're going to be riding on and off the beaten path, they're, great tires for being stock tires. But if you do plan to ride mostly on streets, I highly recommend looking at those PMT tires because they do make a world of a difference. Now, in terms of our top speed results, on both scooters, we were able to hit 35 miles an hour. I did hit 35 with the DT1 Pro going in both directions, whereas with the Gallop, I was only able to hit 35 in one direction and I hit 32 in the other direction. But going in a single direction, going 35 miles an hour, I was able to hit that in 11.81 seconds with the DT1 Pro and 13.64 seconds with the Ausom Gallop. Once again, that is going in one direction. With the Ausom Leopard DT1 Pro, if we average those values going in both directions, it's 0 to 35 in 23.79 seconds. Looking at 0 to 32, which both scooters hit easily, the DT1 Pro did 12.58 seconds to the Gallop's 13.02 seconds. So 0 to 32, the DT1 Pro does have the advantage. Looking at 0 to 30 miles an hour, the DT1 Pro did 10.49 seconds to the Gallop's 10.22 seconds, which gives the Gallop the edge. 0 to 25 on the DT1 Pro, 6.91 seconds, to the Gallop 6.88 seconds, so it also has the advantage. And then of course 0 to 20 on the DT1 Pro, 4.74 seconds, 0 to 20 on the Gallop, 4.6 seconds. So overall, very impressive. I really do wish it wasn't so windy today. It was actually beautiful, pretty calm day early on when I was driving out here, but the winds picked up. I think 11 miles an hour up to 20 mile an hour wind gusts, and unfortunately for us, some of it was a tailwind, sometimes it was a crosswind. So, you know, on another day when it's a lot calmer, I'll definitely take the DT1 Pro out for another speed test, because we went up to Flagstaff, Arizona, we were able to hit 38 miles an hour, and we still had some leeway to go there. So we'll definitely be putting it to the test again. But either way, both scooters are absolutely solid platforms, and as I mentioned before, I think some of the Ausom scooters are very competitively priced, especially when you consider what you get performance-wise. Let me know in the comments section below if you have any questions, comments, thoughts, concerns. Happy to address those, and as always, thank you so much for tuning into Tom's Gadget Garage. We'll see you next time.